Hello everyone, it's been a very long time, but welcome to another episode of Performer Talk. I'm so sorry that it's taken me so long to get back into doing this. There's been a lot going on since the last video that I did. Obviously, lots of things, lots of restrictions being lifted, which is very exciting, but also just life in general. So I am very sorry that it's taken me a while, but enough of that. This video is going to be all about something which is very dear to my heart, actually, and that is the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. Now, I've just got back from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival for 2021, and lots has changed, I can tell you that for nothing. So, let's get into the video. So, Edinburgh 2021, how was it? It was actually really good. Yeah, lots and lots of little things have changed. I mean, if you've never been to Edinburgh before, you wouldn't have noticed the changes, obviously. But yeah, it was very different, very odd this year. Mainly because it was so quiet. It was ridiculously quiet. If you went to Edinburgh and you didn't know the festival was on, you wouldn't know it was on, whereas normally when we're doing the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, normally when things are going on there, it's everywhere. There's promotions for it, there's literally everything going on about it, but if you didn't know that you went up there specifically for the Fringe Festival, genuinely you would have had no idea, which was the first thing that I noticed. Also as well, how quiet it was compared to normal. For those that have been to Edinburgh Festival before, you'll know as well that you've got the Royal Mile. Those that don't know, the Royal Mile is where most of the flyers go to promote their shows. But yeah, it was... The Royal Mile this year was even quiet, and that's saying something. Normally as well, they have massive pillars that are on the Royal Mile for you to go and put your posters up, and this year I made an effort to get some really nice posters done, thinking, yep, we'll put them all up there on those pillars and it'll be amazing. And I got there and the pillars weren't there this year. Yeah, so that was a bit weird. It's partly me expecting things to be back to normal to a degree. I knew it wouldn't be normal. Obviously, it's not going to be normal. But the fact that not even those pillars were there for people to promote their posters, and other little things, like there was no cabaret shows. Normally, there's cabaret shows left, right, and centre at about, from 8 o'clock onwards, so that you can promote your shows at. None. There was one, maybe 3 max, if that. I only saw one of them out of all of them, and that was the Peter Buckley Hill and Some Comedy Friends, I think it's called. And I did that show a few times as well. Big shout out as well to Peter Buckley Hill, who created what I'm about to talk to you about next, and that is the Free Fringe Festival. Now, normally, on a day-to-day basis, I could not afford to go and do the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. It costs a lot of money. People that can afford to do it, incredible. It's one of the best experiences that you can ever do as a performer, I can guarantee you that. But then, about 27 years ago, I think, something like that, this wonderful man came along called Peter Buckley Hill, or PBH. And he decided to create a fringe festival that was free. So you wouldn't have to pay the ridiculous prices that the theatres were asking. You wouldn't have to pay for, flyers if you didn't want flyers. You wouldn't have to pay to be in the big massive book that they've got up there if you didn't want to. You just got your venue for free. The only downside, which I'm not going to lie, isn't really a downside, I can't really count it as one, is that it's not ticketed. So you don't know whether there's going to be an audience, you don't know how many's going to be in the audience, you don't know any of that kind of stuff. And at the end of the show, if people think your show was good enough, you put out your hat and they put money in it. And it's incredible. It's a wonderful system, and it wouldn't exist without this amazing man. And luckily for me, I've never properly met him before. Obviously, I've seen him about Edinburgh, but I've never properly met him before. And this year, he was actually my venue captain at the PBH venue that I was in. I've only ever done PBH venues. I've not done any of the other ones. It just works for me doing those free fringe venues. So if you are thinking about going up and doing Edinburgh next year, but you're in two minds because you don't know whether you can afford it or not, definitely go out and check the PBH Free Fringe website. It has all the details on there. Obviously, you pay for your own accommodation, you pay for your food, all that kind of stuff. But the main cost, which is the venue, doesn't exist to you. Obviously, the downside is you don't necessarily know where you're going to be, but it's a massive plus to be given just a free venue to do your show in. And I'll always that's how I've managed to do Edinburgh for 8 years, which is incredible. But yeah, as I said, Peter was my venue captain this year, and it was absolutely wonderful to work with him. And he was incredible, lovely man. And my other venue captain, because I did 2 shows this year, was the incredibly wonderful Mr. Dave Annick. Dave is one of those people who he's just naturally funny. But his business head is right in place, and I've known Dave for years. Actually met him at a cabaret show in Liverpool when he lived here, we got on, and again his venue captaining skills were fantastic. I did have a little spot in my run when the venue, for whatever reason, couldn't actually host me on a specific day. So Dave went out of his way to find someone that couldn't do their show that day and said, "Do you want the show?" And I was like, "Yes." And I've never had that before. It might have been because it was such a small fringe this year, but at the same time, just the fact that he knew that I might be in trouble and not earning money that day, or not earning as much money that day, he went out of his way to message me and say, "Look, the show's not going on. Do you want it?" And I was like, "Yes." So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Can't say enough about my venue captains. They're fantastic, lovely, wonderful people. But anyway, my Edinburgh Fringe experience. How was it this year? It was amazing. Absolutely amazing. I definitely made the right decision with going up and doing it this year. I was in two minds, because I thought, obviously we've got the whole pandemic thing going on, and will anyone be there? But the good thing about it was that, it's going to sound really silly, but the fact that there wasn't as many performers there this year meant that the performers that were there got a massive audience compared to normal for Edinburgh Fringe festivals. I think the average Edinburgh Fringe Festival audience is 5 to 7 people. That's your average on a normal fringe. If you get that, you're lucky. I personally, throughout my years of doing Edinburgh Fringe Festival, I performed for 3 people, 2 people sometimes. So yeah, to get 5 to 7, you're like, oh my god, yeah, great. This year, I think my average audience ended up being about between 20 and 30, which compared to other years when I've done the Edinburgh Fringe Festival is mind-blowing to me. And yeah, and obviously the more people in, the more money you get in the hat at the end. And it was incredible. I only went for a week because of other commitments and things. But yeah, I was just completely taken aback by how many people were actually coming to see my show. It's just amazing, absolutely amazing. And yeah, so definitely do the Edinburgh Fringe Festival for next year if you can. It'll be worth it. It'll be worth your time. Obviously, as I said, another thing that changed this year was flyers. As I said earlier in the video, a lot of time what happens is you go on the Royal Mile and you're just completely beset by people that want to give you flyers for their show, all the flyers for all the shows, and then obviously you then would take the flyers, you go back to your place of residence where you're staying, and you go through them all and you go, oh, I want to see that one, or I want to see that one, or I want to see that one, or whatever. This year, barely any flyers. I saw maybe I saw the same guy essentially every time I left the house, because it's just the way our schedules work. But yeah, I only personally saw one person flyering. I know there were a few other people up there doing it, and I employed someone to fly for me. But yeah, I saw, compared to normal fringe festivals, when you see like just loads of people flyering on every street corner available to you and everything like that, barren, completely and utterly. As I said, it was essentially just like going to Edinburgh on like a normal month, but this time there was just a few shows going on. So yeah, very, very quiet and very, very unique experience this year, I believe. And part of me wishes that I did more than a week, but I obviously other things going on, unfortunately. But yeah, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant, and it just got me more excited to do it again next year, and hopefully next year, and hopefully the year, and so on and so forth. So yeah, that's pretty much everything I can think of. It was more of like a video vlog thing that I wanted to do for this video, rather than trying to give some some good advice or anything. But if you do want a video on how I do Edinburgh specifically, then yeah, just put it down in the comments, and I'll do one specifically about how I do my Edinburgh Fringe Festivals. So yeah, but again, thank you all so much for watching. If you haven't already, just it'd be awesome if you could just hit that little subscribe button. That'd be fabulous. And give this video a nice little like. That would also be awesome. And yeah, and please comment down below if you'd like me to do like more videos on Edinburgh Fringe Festival and other things like that. I'm more than happy to do them. Hopefully I will start getting back into doing YouTube a bit. It might be a bit spotty at first, but I'll try my best to get back into it again. But yeah, that's it for today. So thank you all so much for watching, and wherever you are in the world, have a wonderful day, evening or afternoon, and I will see you all on the next video.